Good evening, everybody. This is Casper from the Tropical Weather Threat Society, bringing you day 5 of our Hurricane Preparedness Week series. Today we'll cover staying protected during storms. Now, this evening, as we could see, we're looking at the Eastern Pacific and Central Pacific basins. The NESDIS site did not want to cooperate with the Eastern, with GOES 19 and the East Disk full disk view. So here this evening we are looking out here into the wide open areas of the Eastern Pacific, and we can see the development of the monsoon trough and the intertropical convergence zone as we start to get into the season. So, without further ado, I'm going to pull up our PowerPoint presentation. Miss Kylie is out of commission today. She is not feeling good at all. So I have grabbed her presentation that she had from last year. I could not find this year's presentation. So that is a dad fault. So we're going to pop right through there real quick. And staying in your safe place. So keep as many walls as possible between you and the outside. Avoid windows wherever possible. Stay away from flooded areas, including when in your car. If your house floods, get to a higher floor. If the highest floor in your house is flooded, get onto the roof and call 911 if possible. Understand that emergency responders will likely not be able to reach you during the storm. And keep in mind, we learned this with Katrina. If you ever do feel that you have to evacuate to your roof, you need to have something in your attic that will be able to break through the wooden decking and the shingles or the metal that is on the other side. So you just need something that'll get you through there. And that's a very sobering thought if that ever appears to somebody again. Have ways to get alerts. Keep wireless emergency alerts enabled on your smartphone or other devices. Pay attention to the latest forecast information, and if you have a NOAA weather radio, keep it turned on. You are also going to want to keep your phones charged. You need the way to be able to receive those alerts. Having a regular AM/FM radio also is helpful, because during times of tropical cyclone landfalls, hurricanes, a lot of our local radio affiliates will simulcast some of your news outlets. So it is recommended to know what radio stations you have locally that will get you that information over the airways. Stay vigilant in any area. Inland flooding can be felt far away from the coast and even far away from the most damaging winds. Stay vigilant on any potential threat, even if you do not experience the most intense areas of the storm. It is critical that you understand that the impacts extend far outside the cone. We've seen that with Helene this last year. So that the freshwater flooding, or just water in general, represents like 3/4 of all fatalities. 3/4, 4/5 of all fatalities when it comes to tropical storms and hurricanes. So protecting yourself against the water is critical. Yes, you gotta hide from the wind, but you run from the water. Listen to your local officials. Local officials will provide you with up-to-date, specific information regarding the impacts in your area. Pay attention to them. If evacuation orders are issued, leave as soon as possible, but follow your planned evacuation route. Do not attempt to take shortcuts, as they may be blocked. Do not travel during a storm unless ordered to do so. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Like if you've made your evacuation plan and you've communicated that evacuation plan to those that are outside the impact zone, like has been suggested and requested. If you take shortcuts and something happens, Those who know your plan, know your route, know where you're supposed to be, know the roads that you're supposed to be traveling on, when people finally have the opportunity to come and look for you, guess what? You took a shortcut. You're not where you said you were going to be. So when you give your evacuation route to other people, consider that kind of locked in as to what roads you are going to travel. Tomorrow we will be using caution after storms. So the dates on that are wrong, so please forgive me. Let's go ahead and jump back over here to our regular browser, and we will then come here to the National Hurricane Center again for Hurricane Preparedness Week right here on the main page, very top link. If we click on that link, this page is what's going to be shown. Today is Stay Protected During Storms, day number 5. If you click on that link, it will take you to this page. And as you can see with the graphics, stay in your safe places from the water and wind. If the storm is on top of you, don't go outside unless you are experienced in knowing what to expect. I'm not going to tell everybody to go ahead and stay indoors, because there are people that are going to want to see this for themselves. You have to take extra precautions. If you are under an extreme wind warning, which means major hurricane force winds, do not go look. Stay in your safe spot until the extreme wind warning has passed. Then you can come out and take a look, because we want to make sure that all lives are protected. Things during a hurricane get flying around, and like you could get a street sign, a piece of metal roofing, something, anything flying at the air at, potentially hurricane force speeds. That's going to cause some major problems. Here's the issue with that. Normally, you'd be able to pick up the phone, call 911, and get people on the way. But during a storm, especially after the winds have gotten to sustained tropical storm force, they're not coming. And this is why you have to protect yourself during the storm as much as possible. Have a way to get weather alerts and forecast updates. Please make sure your phone is charged. I mean, that's going to be a lot of everybody's line of communication. Making sure that you have your phone charged, and making sure that you have backup battery capacity for those phones. Keep in mind that impacts can be felt far from the coast. We learned that last year with Helene big time. We know that the mountains of the Western Carolinas and Virginia and even into Tennessee, you're nowhere near the coast. So impacts can be felt far, far inland. And listen to local officials and avoid travel unless ordered to evacuate. If you are given a mandatory evacuation order, leave. It's really that simple. Take your pets, your valuables, your important paperwork, your documents, your sentimental stuff if you need, like pictures and stuff like that, and leave. It's not a question. When your local officials recommend for you to evacuate, they're doing it not because they just want to inconvenience you. They're doing it to try to keep you safe. So, as you can see here today, we have stay in your safe place from water and wind, having a way to make sure that you've got your weather alerts and forecast updates. Keep in mind that the impacts can be felt far from the coast, and listen to your local officials and avoid travel unless ordered to evacuate. Now, today is one of those days for Hurricane Preparedness Week that does not include a bunch of hyperlinks within today's lesson. So, what I'm going to do today, knowing that we've got a lot of stuff going on right now, I'm going to jump over and try to give everybody a little bit of a synopsis of the weather event of what we've got coming for the U.S., because it's not looking good. Right now, if we take a look at the National Weather Service office main page, this pink area right here, let me get the crayons out. This area right here is all a severe thunderstorm watch. We have a hydrologic outlook down here into parts of southeastern Alabama, southwestern Georgia, and the Florida Panhandle, and where we are located as well. We have a severe thunderstorm watch down here into southern portions of Texas, and then more hydrologic outlooks up here, and a flood watch up here into portions of New England. All this right here is special weather statements and frozen precipitation. I'm allergic to frozen precipitation personally because I was born and raised in Florida, so I don't really deal with the frozen precipitation too much. But please, folks up here into the northern states, be careful. Now, if we go over to the Storm Prediction Center, everything is broken loose today. So we've got mesoscale discussions, we've got severe thunderstorm watches all over the place, a large area of slight 2 out of 5 risk for our convective outlook, as you could see here, slight getting along the central and northeastern portions of the Florida Peninsula and down here along coastal regions of Georgia, and of course down here into southern Texas. Well, one thing that I want to point out is if we get into day 2's convective outlook, we don't have any slight risk yet. We'll revisit that in the morning. I would expect somebody's going to see a little bit of an upgrade. I hope not, but if we run by trends of the Storm Prediction Center, that's probably what we're going to see. Now, the day 3 outlook also has a marginal risk down here where the frontal boundary kind of stalls out over the northern portions of Florida. Yes, we are expecting quite a bit of rain. If we look at the Weather Prediction Center, it is the rain that is the big threat coming with this. As you can see with today, we have a slight risk of excessive rainfall down here in the southern portions of Texas, getting into a marginal risk for western Texas and getting up into south central Texas and the coastal regions of Texas. If we look at the East Coast, pretty much the majority of the southeastern United States is under some type of marginal risk for excessive rainfall and also getting up into the New England and Mid-Atlantic regions. That's today. Tomorrow, things get a little bit interesting. We still keep the marginal risk up here into the New England area, and now we've got this marginal risk stretching across the southern portions of the southeast, getting across the northern Gulf Coast region at this point, and into extreme southern South Carolina. Well, so that is Friday's kind of forecast. Well, if we get into Saturday's forecast, we're still dealing with marginal rain or marginal excessive rainfall up here into New England, and we're still dealing with the marginal risk down here into the same spots that we've been dealing with for days. The big problem comes when we get into this later into the weekend and into next week. As you can see here with day 4, we've got an upgrade. We have a slight risk of excessive rainfall getting into portions of southern Georgia and eastern Georgia, and including portions of the Big Bend region here of Florida and the Florida Panhandle, with a marginal kind of bracketing around that. Well, that's day 4. Day 5 has a slight risk getting into the Florida Panhandle at that point for excessive rainfall. They need it. Now, they don't need too much, but they need the rain down there in the Florida Peninsula. The drought numbers are ridiculous right now. So a lot of this will be welcomed. But too much of a good thing is not a good thing. The folks that are up here into the Carolinas, this is where I get a little bit concerned because you have stripped land from Helene to where you don't have all of the foliage that you once had prior to Helene, and we've got a slight risk that takes up the entire state of South Carolina and stretches into western and central portions of North Carolina, and even a small little touch right here into southern parts of south central parts of Virginia. So this is all day 1, as you could see, same spot, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. Now, with the hydrologic outlook that is coming from the National Weather Service office, these events in day 1, day 2, day 3, what we get there is going to determine what our real risk for day 4, day 5 is. So we may see, depending on how this trends for day 1, day 2, and day 3, These areas for day 4, day 5 might go to a 3 out of 4 risk and a moderate. So we hope not, but there is at least the opportunity for that to occur. So another quick thing is, I showed this the other day, our global tropics hazards outlook. Right now we don't have anything, but the one thing that I do want to point out here is on week 3. We've got an area here. Now, there's no tropical cyclone development, but if you notice, it's above average precipitation. That's what that green represents. And it's the same up here for week 2. We have above average precipitation. Now, the one thing about week 2, it shows that a below average precipitation right here, kind of bracketed in with the above average. A Central American gyre could get its act together here over the next couple weeks, but the primary zone for potential development is going to occur there, out into the Eastern Pacific, and not so much into the Caribbean. It is a non-zero chance for the Caribbean, but the opportunities are going to be extremely, extremely low. The 90% or better opportunity for this to end up moving out into the Western Caribbean. And just real quick, the Climate Prediction Center came out with their El Nino outlook today. Let me go to the IRI here real quick. Give me 1 second. And we'll get up the graphics that they put up today. This was, they don't have it yet. I know it just came out. I watched it pop up today. Okay, so they have not updated this website just yet. So let me do it a different way. We will go over here to Facebook. We will get off of Kylie's personal page there. We'll get over to our page, and then we will go with NOAA's Climate Prediction Center. That's the ocean weather. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, that's the wrong button. NOAA, there's climate.gov. That'll be good enough. We'll just go to the channel. And as you could see, they put that up earlier. Wait a minute. It's not climate.gov that I wanted. It is the Climate Prediction Center, of course. Well, this is ridiculous. This really is, because I had it, and it is in there. You know what? I got a better way to do this. Give me just 1 second, folks. Go through the executive chat here real quick. You guys get to see we talk about all types of weather on the background. It doesn't necessarily have to be related to the tropics. We're usually all over it. There's a lot going on for team members this afternoon, so please bear with me there. That is, I think that is the one. That is not the one. Where is the graphic that was just posted earlier today? Okay. This is becoming a little bit of a pain, but please bear with me here just one moment. Let's get back over here. And let's go to groups, and I'll just go to top fans because I know that I put it in there. There it is. Okay. All right, there we go. So as you could see here, I'd like to eliminate there. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I'm just trying to eliminate the chat because nobody cares about what other people say. As you can see here with the May forecast issued by the Climate Prediction Center, we are looking at neutral conditions through the majority of peak season. But when we get into the autumn, La Nina kind of gets up there. Now, I will tell you this. The models are not in agreement with what we see here. It gives El Nino a little bit more and brings La Nina down, as to where La Nina gets up to about 42%, 43%, somewhere in that range for October. The other models really want to bring it down to about 30%. So there is a little bit of difference there. So I'm going to check over here real quick, and no, Sammy, sit down. No rain dances right now, dear. Please, none. And this is why. You see this? You don't want to rain dance. You've already done enough dancing. Sit down, and just let your previous dancing take, kind of show us our results. Because no, ma'am. No, please, no dancing. Let's see. Okay. I don't see any questions. So I'm going to go ahead and let everybody go here tonight. I've got a lot of things to do behind the scenes here this evening. Tomorrow, use caution after storms. So this is where we'll really get into a lot of things that occur after the storms, and information, data, where you can find things. So tomorrow will be a big day for sure. And even though we do not have any hyperlinks that we're going to be pulling up, I've got other things that we'll be pulling up for sure. So with that, everybody, have a wonderful evening, and we will talk to you again tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central Time for Day 6 of our Hurricane Preparedness series. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Good night.